A lovely good morning to you, our viewers. Welcome to another exciting edition of the Camnet TV Breakfast Show of today being the 16th of January 2022. I am your host, Miriam Kaimba, and in studio, I am not alone. I am joined by my beautiful colleague, Zipporah Mshala. Good morning, Zipporah.
Good morning, Miriam, and good morning to beautiful viewers. And Miriam, I started what I said where this I'll be exercising. So I think you should expect to see me lose a lot of weight this year. Although I don't have that much, but I'm on the right track.
You're giving us a guarantee that, okay, this is what you're doing on the ground at the moment? You're assuring us?
Yes.
I'm glad.
And I feel good about it.
I'm glad. Anyway, it's very, very good, to, set goals and ensure that you implement them at the end of the day. So what has been happening to you of late? How is your week? How was your weekend,
No, it was really awesome. I was just trying to follow up that story, Miriam. I'm sure last week of the dog bite. The man who had his two children, his child and, grandson, beaten by dog. So I'm told the latest is that after we heard the story, because, they were, or rather they accused the very prominent official, someone who's a former auditor general. So they said after we had the clip, the H by force, even though they were not yet healed, saying just leave, just go, so that's something that we need to finish up to date. That's what I've been following. Like, really, what caused them to be discharged? Is it a normal, discharge, or maybe is it like someone had a hand in it? You need to find that out. And the sad part, Miriam, is that the accused is not answering the phone.
Wow, interesting.
That is the sad part. Yeah.
Interesting.
So we just have to find out from the Zambia police what is happening, because the complainant said they reported at Rosedale police station, I think that is in Musaka West, and Plainview police station, and they were allegedly, according to them, they're saying the police said, "Do you want us to arrest dogs?"
Wow.
But the dogs not have an owner.
Interesting.
That's quite something interesting. That's what I've been following up.
Anyway, we hope to see a conclusion of that case, indeed, and we hope that the family will be helped in some way or another. But anyway, to our viewers, this morning we are looking at the removal of street vendors in the CBD. What is your take on that? Exactly at 0730 hours, we will be opening our phone lines so that you can participate in our conversation this morning, and at 8 hours we'll be joined by a guest in studio who is going to help us discuss this topic. But anyway, before I go into talking, bluffing around and stuff like that, it's time to do our morning exercise. Let's see what the fitness puppy has for us this morning.
Hello. It's your boy Harrison, aka the Fitness Puppy, here at Chon's Fitness in conjunction with the Camnet TV. Remember, you can get your fitness attire here and here. So guys, today I'm taking you in aerobics. We can go now, a 2-minute aerobics, okay? Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1, then you start. Niggas about rap it. Surprise or gift from the rap it. Feel how I'm moving on the rap beat. Putting on my songs on the repeat. This mama got it hard like a solid. You might pull on my like I stick. Me so that my beat. Keep going. Working for buzz like a ballet. Working everything so I'm never gonna leave. I've been working hard so I'm gonna achieve. So after this you do the one hand jumping jacks. Get ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. This side. Okay. Keep going.
Get ready. 3, 2, 1, we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You switch this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're done. Woo! So guys, today we are going to do a deadlift. Yeah, and also I'm going to mention the parts the deadlift works on. So I'm going to do a 2 times. Okay. So I have my 30 kg here. So slowly you move close to your barbell. Okay. So you bend all the way like this. We go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I've done 8, and I would like to tell you the parts the deadlift works on. Actually, the deadlift is a full body workout. It works on your core, the arms, the lower back, hamstring. Okay, so this is what you do when you want to perform a good deadlifting exercise. So you hold the dumbbell, move close to your barbell here like this, then all the way, try as if you are pushing the ground away. Then when you reach here, you push your glutes forward as well as chest out. So this motion helps you with the core. Then drop it down. So mind you, let's take for instance you are using an overloaded barbell. So the advice I can give you, it's when you take it up like this. So instead of you going down all the way like this, so when it reaches here, then you go for another lap. You go for another lap. For this kind of action really helps you for your lower back here. Okay, let me do the last one. I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more, and 10. Okay, that's it for today. You've been with me, Harrison, aka the Fitness Papi, here at Chon's Fitness in Kablonga. Remember, you can also get your fitness attire here. Bye-bye.
quite interesting there. I hope you enjoyed your exercise because for our team, we did. I'm sure you can even hear that we're a few panting. Miriam, how was your experience?
I'm exhausted, but anyway, I tried. And Zipporah, even if I don't exercise on set, I always make sure that I wake up every day early in the morning. I do one or two things, you know, to ensure that I keep my body intact and in check by doing that little exercise every day.
And speaking of keeping our bodies in check, we actually have the health corner, Miriam, as well. I know people don't like hospitals. I'm one of those people who don't like being in a hospital environment. And so that's why you have the doctors here to help us with
the scent of medicine.
Yeah, it's just this hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have the doctors to help us with preventive tips so that you and I can stay home and not at the hospital. So let's just have the health corner.
Hi, good morning and welcome to the Health Corner on the Breakfast Show. I am Dr. Nakuyana Mfaya. This week we are going to look at hypertension and we will discuss so many things about hypertension. We will discuss what is hypertension and what causes hypertension and how is hypertension diagnosed and treated. What are some of the complications of hypertension and how can hypertension be prevented? So, to begin with, what is hypertension? Hypertension is a disease where there is high blood pressure. So this means your blood pressure is elevated. And by elevated high blood pressure, we mean that your systolic blood pressure is 140 and above, and your diastolic is 90 and above. So the normal blood pressure that an adult usually has is 120 over 80. So the 120 is the systolic and the diastolic is 80. And usually when there is hypertension, it means that the blood pressure increases and it comes to about 140 to 160 or even above, and also the diastolic blood pressure also increases to about 90 and above. So people who have blood pressure of 130 to 140 are considered to be prehypertensive. So if you have prehypertension, your blood pressure will most likely be between 120 to 140. But if you have a blood pressure of 140 and above, then you have hypertension. So what are some of the causes of hypertension? So hypertension has got many causes. Most of the people who have hypertension don't even know what caused the hypertension. So most of the times, the cause of hypertension is not known. So it just comes on its own. It just starts because of the body's chemicals and the chemicals that are being produced in the body. You end up having hypertension. So there are some people who would develop hypertension because they have another condition, and these conditions could include having diabetes, having kidney disease, and other endocrine conditions like high hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism, and so many other endocrine diseases. Hypertension is a very common condition in our society, and there are so many people that have hypertension, and many people don't even know that they have high blood pressure. So it's important that people get checked and people go and measure their blood pressure so that you are able to know what your blood pressure is, and if you find out that you have hypertension, then it's best that you start treatment early. So today we're talking about what is hypertension, and we say that hypertension is a condition where there's an elevated blood pressure, and the blood pressure can be about 140 and above for the systolic and 90 and above for the diastolic. So if you want to know whether you are hypertensive or not, then you need to go and check your blood pressure as soon as possible so that you are able to know whether you have a high blood pressure or you don't. So I do hope you have learned something today. Please make sure you watch tomorrow's edition as well. We'll be talking about some of the signs and symptoms of hypertension. So be sure to watch The Breakfast Show on Camnet TV. Thank you.
I hope you learned one or two things there on hypertension. The doctor did mention, very, very important tips that you need to, take note of. Moving on right about now, we go direct in seeing how our kwacha is performing against other currencies. And just a reminder to our viewers that just like the healthy corner, the money market also is up for sponsorship. I beg your pardon. But anyway, let's get to see how our kwacha is performing against other currencies. So there we have the United States dollar buying at 18 kwacha 22 ngwe and selling at 18 kwacha 58 ngwe. We have the British pound, they are buying at 22 kwacha 19 ngwe, 22 kwacha 19 ngwe and selling at 22 kwacha 62 ngwe. And we have the euro, they are buying at 19 kwacha 17 ngwe and selling at 20 kwacha 09 ngwe. We have the South African rand, they are buying at 1 kwacha 08 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 10 ngwe. I don't know why so many difficulties in pronouncing this, but maybe it's because I've seen the dollar there going toward almost 19 kwacha.
Just show on the selling side, but just 2 ngwe away.
2 ngwe.
18 kwacha 58
58 ngwe.
Meaning Miriam, by tomorrow it can be 19 kwacha, and that is worrisome. And for people who buy, things online, it means they'll be more expensive.
More expensive, yes.
I remember, I was trying to buy a tablet. There are certain tablets from a certain,
online site.
Shop, from a shop in town, and they're like, no, we import this. So I was like, last time I came, it told me it's 1,000. This time it's telling me it's 2,200.
Wow.
What happened? No, that time the dollar and the kwacha was on 15.
15.
And he was like, well, only 2 in stock. If you come next time, maybe you find them on 2,800. I'm like, so they're trying to bribe me into buying now. I don't have.
So now imagine if you were to go to there and just, ask the price of the same tablet to be double the price again.
Because you go prepared saying, okay, it's 1,000, then you go there. It's 2,200. Imagine the huge gap. You can't even fill it in. Then you go 2,200. It's 2,800, and So it's just always to put maybe 500 kwacha extra all the time to make sure that you're safe and buying these gadgets out there. But anyway, Miriam, we now move on to zooming the headlines and look at one of yesterday's stories, Miriam, from Kavu.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
A very, very interesting story there.
That of Kenneth Kaunda has become topical, really, ever since Toes and Girls. I was in Kavu 3 weeks ago, right? I was in Kavu when I went for, the funeral. And that thing was still wrapped, and all of us were just wondering, what is this, what is this? And when I came here, I just saw pictures saying it's been unveiled, and I saw it was KK, but everybody was against it. And yesterday we saw 3 men vandalizing that property, and planting some flowers around. So, what do you think? Is it because maybe it doesn't look like they prompted them to do that? According to you, what do you think?
I really don't know, but we had a lot of people, bring out different opinions over the same. We saw the pictures going around on social media. I don't know, but if you ask me, that statue and the one at Long Acres, those are totally different. And the car one, anyway, I just don't know. But let's
there's another one really, which someone put, I don't know if it's $1 or whatever, of KK and Bet Kaunda.
I saw it yesterday. That was worse.
And see, someone was saying we'll be arresting these artists that are disrespecting our freedom fighters, but I don't know. I don't think they do that on purpose. I don't think they spend that much. It's just a matter of, you know, like maybe lack of talent.
And also perfection.
Yeah, so it just highlights, or rather, highlights the status of most artists in Zambia.
Exactly.
They need to be given capacity building and all that, you know.
But anyway, let's get
look at that interesting story.
Exactly.
3 people have been arrested in Kabwe for tampering with the infamous KK statue and the flowers around the roundabout where the statue is mounted. According to Kabwe Mayor Mr. Patrick Chala, the trio were arrested by council police after a tip-off from members of the general public who spotted them at the infamous roundabout. The trio were partially detained in one of the holding rooms at the civic center and were later on led to the roundabout by the mayor and some council police officers. The 3 have been identified as Nelson Miti, 28, of High Ridge, Mwanza Mukanzo, 16, of Obama in Lusaka, and Christopher Mukosha, 26, of Chibombo district. According to Mr. Chala, the trio were this morning around 07 hours spotted plucking off flowers and palm trees planted at the roundabout. The mayor was visibly charged and almost manhandled the trio.
Why? Why? Tell me you are here now. Why you are happy now? Eat this. You want to eat these flowers. Eat them. Deal with me. Deal with me. Not the flowers. Deal with Patrick. I'm here now. Deal with me. Huh? Deal with me.
Not kunipenda sanimenya osanifwemba lonifwemba awawe imwe na mwana wanga huyu hapa zone osanifwemba nsiyenza ziyendela.
The 3 suspects were taken to Central Police where another confusion ensued among the police officers on the basis of how the case should be handled. This was after one of the police officers in plain clothes, only identified as Sergeant Tembo from another station, a relative to one of the suspects, ordered the arresting officer that his nephew be issued with a medical form on allegations that he was equally assaulted by the mayor. The 2 police officers exchanged bitter words in the full view of the mayor, whom later was equally caught up in the fracas, denouncing him as a less educated person. Petronella Msangulule, Camnet TV News, in Kabwe, Central Province.
Quite interesting story there, but anyway, Zippo, was it, anyway, I want to get your opinion. Was it right for the mayor, you know, to act like that?
Yeah, you know, anyway, like he was physical, but I think it's better just like, to let the law take its course, you know, they go to court and all that. But Miriam, I just wonder,
I think he became too emotional. Yeah.
What prompted those men, you know, to just...
I think,
very interesting.
You know, I would have loved to see more of Petronella, you know, getting their side, like the reason why they actually did that. Were they not happy with the statue that they saw? What prompted them? You know, would like to hear from them.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'm sure you can give her that idea.
But I'm sure if the case is going to be taken up later on and the guys are taken to court, I'm sure, you know, some strict measures are going to be put in place. And
I really see this statue being taken down. I don't know if it's just me, it has undergone a lot of backlash. People say
it has.
I foresee it, you know, being taken down. I don't know.
Okay, but
better statue.
Do you think it should be taken down?
I think it should be, because we're trying to give a clear picture out there. If that's not how Kawunda used to look like, then we should make sure it looks like the way it's supposed to look.
Long Acres is the best example I can give.
Yeah, that one is a good statue, but is it Long Acres?
Yes, Long Acres more. Yeah, very good.
It's nice. Even the unveiling, you can say, of course, we're waiting for something. But in Kawa, they wrapped it around, but then when they unveiled it, was disaster. Really.
A big disaster. But anyway, just a reminder to our viewers that we have already opened our phone lines and you can take part in our conversation this morning, where we are looking at the removal of street vendors in the CBD. What is your take on that?
And Miriam, talking about zooming the headlines, you did another story on Saturday with the UPN Alliance. What was that story about?
Yeah, so basically, Zipporah, we saw an alliance partner, you know, Kesha Sakapero, coming on board and just saying, you know, in as much as, you know, as government, we want you to remove the people from the street, but we need to put up different shelters that can help them, you know, we relocate them, not just, you know, removing them from the street and having them with no place to go. That will be another chaos, disaster that we are going to be, you know, putting upon ourselves. So he was calling upon the government to, you know, come up with different structures, build up different structures that they can put these people, the street vendors, where they can trade from. Yeah. And you know, we have taken note, you know, when you go in town, Zipporah, our city is very, very dirty. Very, very dirty. That is a very, very, basically the main concern that has been put across. Yeah.
And on is it Friday, we did see a good initiative from the Kulimata Bus Drivers Association, where they were actually giving bins to bus stations. So I think that's one of the initiatives that people can take up. Even the same so-called markets, Miriam, I went to one market, is it Mobile Market? It's called Mobile Market. Miriam, the place was filthy. You can't even walk saying I'm at the market. It was totally disgusting. Diapers, Miriam, in the market, thrown about. You know, water, stagnant water, you know, with diapers, lies. I'm like, no, this is not a market. It was so disgusting. And people there were, to add on, they were saying there's been no toilet here, only 2 toilets, and both of them are filled to the brim, you know, with fecal matter that blocked. I'm like, this is a recipe for cholera.
Anyways, Zipporah, before we get playing that story by Kesha Sakapero, we did a story yesterday in Kanyama compound where a man, a security guard, was swindled. I don't know if I can call it swindled, but he went to a witch doctor, okay, to a traditional healer, because he was trying to seek for help. For assistance, on account, he gave a reason that his 2 children have epilepsy. So he has been going to the clinic and he hasn't found, you know, a permanent solution. So he decided, after hearing the alleged witch doctor on radio, he decided to visit the said traditional healer. And then after that, he was told, no, you need to bring money. You need to pay first of all a consultation fee, which is 200, and then he was told, okay, here where you have come, you need to look at the mirror so that you can understand your problems. So he paid the 500 kwacha, and then he was given the said mirror, Zipporah. However, he did not see his problems on the mirror. I don't know if it was a magical mirror where he was supposed to see his problems, but anyway, he didn't see his problems. So he was given another instructions that he should go home and get sand from his place, take it to the said traditional healer. Upon that, he did the same, and he was told again to pay a 1,000, because I don't know. According to the traditional healer, what he was told is that you know, on the mirror there was a black thing covered. So in order to remove that black thing covered on the said mirror, you need to pay another 1,000 so that you can see your problems on the mirror. He paid that, however, nothing.
So do demons need money for tomatoes, because those are spirits? Do they need money?
Exactly. So, and you know, you can just understand that this was just psychology at play. Yeah, so nothing was done, and then, you know, now the man was demanding for a refund because he didn't get his help. And then the alleged witch doctor told him, you know, just wait here. And then they said traditional healer Zipporah, when he went out, and told the man that he was going to get money from the bank. But when he came back with the police and got the man arrested. So the man explained his part. No, I visited this because of blah, 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 stuff like that. So he is now demanding for his refund.
But was he released?
Yes, he was released, and the police told him that we do not deal with issues. We do not deal with issues that involve traditional healers, witch doctors. No, we do not. Yeah, we don't deal with that. So you can only be helped when you go to the court. So he was referred to the court.
Take witchcraft to the court because they need to find evidence saying you didn't see your problem.
Exactly. But you know, Zipporah, one thing we should understand that this is, we can, you know, categorize this offense in that of obtaining money by false pretense. You know, you obtain money from someone on the pretext that you're going to give them something, but in return you don't do that.
But the doctor in his defense will say, no, the problems were spiritual. Now how do you validate the spiritual aspect? So
exactly.
At the end of the day, both of them, the witch doctor is going to
no, but I think the man again was like, you know, I regret ever visiting. He should have prayed, and you know, he was advised that, you know, he should take his children to UTH because they live in a village. They live in the village, so he was advised that he needs to take his children to UTH and see how they can be best helped there. Yeah, but anyway,
very interesting. Let's just take a look at that story and see the man who was swindled by an alleged witch doctor.
Trading places for our people, because look, we have thousands and thousands of people on the streets now. Looking at the space of the new market, like City Market and Simoson, I think those would not be able to accommodate everyone. So I think the decision by the President of this Republic, Mr. President Hakainde Hichilema, to halt that decision, I think is a welcome move. Because for now, what we have to start thinking is to quickly resolve the matter by constructing markets for our people, demolish those shackles of makeshifts to at least a standardized kind of a business location. Because look, we have to have a solution for our people. These are our people. So if we do it haphazardly, it's going to cost us. You understand? So at the end of the day, for me, my plea is that if we could quickly move in and save a situation by allocating stands to a few people for now, and go flat out and build a proper market at Soweto, because there's Soweto at the far end and there's that makeshift. We can go up. We have to think for the future, because at the end of the day, majority of our people are traders.
After paying 1,700 kwacha to a witch doctor in order to find a lasting solution to his two children's condition, this man of Lusaka's Mutandabantu compound in Kanyama constituency is now demanding for a refund after the named witch doctor allegedly failed to perform. Indala Simvola, a security guard who resorted to seek a witch doctor's assistance instead of rushing to the hospital, says he regrets ever taking such a step as no help was rendered to him. According to the complainant, he decided to visit the named witch doctor in Lusaka upon hearing the said traditional healer on radio and hoped to get answers on why his children had such a condition. His two named children have epilepsy, a common condition that affects the brain and causes frequent seizures.
So kuyanga na pamila first kulembesa ni 200 na choza 200 na lipia. After uchoza 200 na lipia na ningenesa mukati mu office. Aniuza ati kuyanga na pamila ni 500 na choza 500 na lipia. After kulipira 500 aniuza ati niende kunyumba ukatenge joti yapa nyumba. Ulete kuno tugwele tukupangire ni maprogramu amena kugwelela kuno. Nabwelela na kutenga doti yapa nyumba nopeleka. Afuta napeleka kuja anapanga wamene rozivia aniitana anipasa mila. Nyangane pamila. Nangana pamila kulipeza mene nao na pamila.
All he wants is a refund and has threatened to allegedly sue the said traditional healer.
ananiuza ati ukabwele pachani pamande naendako kuenda kufika kujaji ndrama ukabwele pasande mame naendela kule lero pasande kuenda kufika kuja ine aliuza ati kasiyembekeza ni ndrama kupangi kuenda utenga ndrama kupangi ine kuyembekeza abuya na polisi wapa chiruru polisi wamile wabula kumitenga kunipeleka ku polisi wenda ufika kuja ku polisi alembe sa statement wamile cha uruka after alembe sa statement kuja naini nalembe sa statement kulembe sa statement wa polisi wakambati isengani amene mwalaita kuno yabanganga ise wa polisi tipingena so iwo amene watengelewa ndrama uende kukoti wala kutangiza wakoti.
Upon hearing his side, concerned citizen for justice and human rights decided to call the alleged accused and hear his defense as well before the institution could try and reconcile the two parties.
Kuliko complaint against him, complaint chokera kuri ba indala bamwe munatandizira bamwe mwezo kunika utandizira but tandizwa tswana ipeze anatenga ndrama ya kwa na 1,700 then lero atumawapeleka ku garden police then ndrama mkana kubabwezera Okay, chabwino munga kwanise kuti tibwere mvere mbali yanu mailo 9 hours kwa kanyama ku human rights.
The complainant has since been referred to court, hoping that the local court will consider his plea and have his money refunded. Miriam Kaimba reporting for Camnet TV News.
Quite an interesting story there, Miriam. And you know, just now we're discussing, saying, why don't they enrich themselves? You know, someone will say, doctor, this and that, get rich quick, this and that, you know, multiply your money. Why don't they multiply their own money? You look at most the so-called rich doctors, look at the house which they live in here.
They're still poor.
Very poor, most of them live in these small houses, in the shanty compound.
Yeah.
So I wonder how it works. Maybe it's a spiritual principle.
And you know, last time there's a story that we had done of a security guard who was aged, if I'm not mistaken, 26 years old, of John Lane compound, who was promised by a witch doctor that every month he'll be getting 15,000 kwacha, zipo, magic money. Yes, so he had to quit his job and just waiting there. Yes, he just quit because he was told that every month he will be, you know, having this miracle money every month, 15,000 kwacha. So he had to quit his job, and later on.
Oh, we have a caller, Miriam. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. You're through to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Who are we talking to this morning? It's good to know that Solwezi is watching us this morning.
The act of law.
Yes.
People. That's not what the leadership works with. A leader has to if you make a call which is a free motion, we want to fight in the community, and we are forgetting that those people who want to fight are the ones who to be in that. Yeah? So that man of fighting it doesn't show mistake. How are we going to do this responsibility? Because the way practice, really means like he can be a past them with alone at this stage. So he shouldn't be asking like he should be acting as Mafia State. Let them Mafia. That's how the leadership speaks.
Before I let you go, what is your take on the removal of street vendors in the CBD?
Sorry?
Before I let you go, sir, can you give us your view on the removal of street vendors in the CBD? What is your take on that?
Street vendors?
Yes.
Otherwise, the street vendors are to this moment. I'm sure this will not give them out. Otherwise, the life is how are they going to survive?
All right, thank you very much for your comment. And Miriam, talking about street vendors, we'll move right next for our next segment. And I think that's what he was commenting on when he just called. He said, how are they going to sell their fritters? He was commenting on the issue of street vending. That's what he called for. He was saying how they're going to sell their fritters and all that. So I think he's sympathizing for the street vendors. But anyway, Miriam, to just help us discuss this topic, we have Mr. Nechan Tsakafuya, who is Industrious Youth Executive Director. But Miriam, just before ushering in, let's take a look at the protest that happened on Saturday by the street vendors. So that story was done by Prudence Trotter on Saturday, where we saw street vendors protesting because today, 16th January, they were supposed to be removed, Miriam, from the streets. That was the directive that was given on Friday, saying by Monday, they are going to be removed from the street. So they were protesting on Saturday. And we also saw, the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Gary Congo, saying, the President, Hakainde Hichilema, has guided that further consultations should be done before the street vendors can be removed. So we saw those two stories. But anyway, let's just take a look at those two stories as we invite our guest.
Following the ultimatum given by the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Gary Nkombo, Friday, that all street vendors should vacate the streets by Monday, 16th January 2023, the street vendors have rejected the directive and have vowed not to leave the streets. Among the reasons that street vendors have been told to leave the streets is due to poor waste disposal that has characterized most parts of Lusaka's central business district. The street vendors Saturday morning staged a protest urging government to first find them an alternative trading place before chasing them from the streets.
Ifo tuli bana benu grafine mumfiro rusomwana wa mwanganda na ifabane mutumfiro ruse tuli bana benu na mwatufunya mu street twalabisha abana bombo yabo twakwata era nga mwafunya mu street mwishiro kwa bati bakabwalala balafula ama ule yalafula na kasuba bakula chita ataki lero fatira sisha mu street bale tsana wale shama plastic bag wale sanga kokoini.
Others have also questioned why the Lusaka City Council was collecting money from the street vendors and promising them of being relocated to the right trading facility, which the council has failed to provide. For now, these street vendors have insisted that they will not leave the streets. Prudence Trotter.
Affected in order to arrive at a consensus and prepare for a smooth re-migration into the designated trading places. On Monday 16th, January 2023, the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development will therefore begin these consultations, which will start with honorable members of parliament for all the 7 constituencies in Lusaka, all the councillors for the city of Lusaka, and then we will schedule further meetings with other stakeholders who include business houses, traders, churches, CSOs, as well as NGOs.
Quite interesting stories there. We saw the first one where the street vendors were protesting and they have vowed that they will not leave the streets. And we've seen that this exercise has been ongoing. Even last year we saw them move, but they are back. And we also saw the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Gary Kombo, saying the head of state has directed that further consultations be done to include even the traders themselves, representatives of the traders to find a permanent way forward. And to help us to discuss the issue of entrepreneurship, the issue of street vendors this morning, we have been joined by Mr. Nechan Takakuya, Executive Director of the Industrious Youth Organization. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Madam Manda. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We are glad to have you on the show this year.
Sure. I really appreciate for the opportunity given. It's really a pleasure.
So I'm hopeful that, a lot of entrepreneurship activities will kick off this year, But anyway, just to start with, what is your general view on the issue of street vendors? Because I know that even many youths out there, who are jobless, are on the street trying to sell maybe some clothes or maybe some food. What's your general take? Do you feel that because these traders say, there's no space in markets, do you feel it is genuine, or how do you look at the issue of street vending?
The issue of street vending is very critical. We should agree to the fact that despite having a clean environment, if people are hungry, it is pointless. So the first number one, the question you should ask is, are these people we are removing from the streets, do they have the place to be? If the place is there, it's okay. Is it big enough to accommodate everyone? And if those people we are calling street vendors today, they went back in the markets, we people ourselves, number one, are we willing to go and buy from those markets? Because one thing which has contributed, Madam Zipporah, to the street vending is because one of the mentalities, us ourselves, people who buy things, we have got this mentality of not going in the market. We prefer buying things along the way as we are going home. Maybe Wachedo, you rush, if you pass this route, I'll find those they sell there and you get them. It's for easy access, I would say. But all in all, when you look at the hygiene part, the street, we should agree to it to say it is dirty. And if you remember last time I was here, we talked about the time they removed the booths in the street. And if I remember very well, I made a point to say, I'm sure the next people are going to be removed street vendors. And it's here. It is for one reason. Number one, first, I would blame ourselves as vendors because we have failed to apply cleanness where we're working from. The office where you work from, you should respect your office. And if the street vendors themselves, they feel the street is where they're getting something from where to eat or where to put food on the table, why are they not coming on board to keep the streets clean? We have got the council who are in charge in doing all those things. But all in all, we should look at it to say, the council, there are people like us, and if they are failing, they are trying, but they are failing. Why can themselves, the vendors, also come in? So that together, collectively, we beat this saying of saying the street's dirty and the street vendors are making the street dirty. It is this today because us ourselves, street vendors, are not participating in making it clean. And if the directive is given to say we should be removed from the streets, the first people to be blamed is ourselves because we fail to maintain it clean. If we not put food on our table, we should be conscious and want to make it clean first. All in all, these people pay money to the council to be getting these bins from them. I'll give you a scenario of you are home, then you have got a house helper, common note has made. There is a day in a week or in a month which you choose as the owner of the house, you take the role of the house, you clean. The maid does the work, but as the owner of the house, wala clean more than the maid does. There's just once in a week or once in a month. It is normal. So the vendors themselves, if they've got councils to clean for them, let them also get involved, knowing that this is rain season. It is a season where I've got many waterborne diseases to say. But season in, season out of the rain season, we shouldn't look to say because it's rain season we should participate in cleaning. No, either it's rain season or not rain season, we should participating in cleaning. So the first people should be blamed for the town to be dirty. It is the street vendors themselves because they have not fully participated in maintaining the cleanliness. Sure.
This brings me to another question. I know that we have a high unemployment levels in the country with regard to the youths out there. How do you think we should work on this in able to strike a balance? Given the fact that when we are left to trade in the street, you know, we leave the street dirty. But again, when we are removed, we complain about nowhere to go. How do you think we should strike a balance on that?
Okay. I'll take you back to the previous regime where we saw a policy was made to say every Saturday should be for cleanups. And for those who did not comply to that were charged. But again, it was wrongly, or I should say it was misinterpreted, where some funds were going to people's individual pockets, which they are not meant for. So I think it's just we have to agree together collectively as vendors and also the council or the people in authority to say, if we are to let you trade from town, there should be conditions attached for them to be in town. And the whole time when we talk of town, there are some areas like CBDs, we talk of Cairo Road. Such areas, I think, even trading from there is not allowed. Such areas should be prohibited. Then if there will be areas specific which will be allowed to be traded from, there will be condition attached to say maybe after you are done, cleaning should be done. Or maybe before Mwatantika Magoods in the morning, all of you clean before you do that. Or maybe even after you sell, mwezi wa kutapa manzi it's 18, mambo vichosa. It should be a rule to attach to it. Probably maybe
just
we can have
hold your
someone.
thought there. We have a caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. You're through to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Who are we talking to this morning?
You are talking to Kay from Shawama.
It's good to know that Shawama is watching us this morning. Please go ahead with your contribution, sir.
But I'm not clear very well with what you are saying. Say Mabenda should be removed because of being whatever. You see, these vendors, we have to consider them as well. The government has to consider them as well. Because here is not a farm or commune whereby people have got farms, they are farming me. Here is down. And people they pay to council to clean up, and the day they made for on Saturday to say they have to decree that the vendors have to come on to clean up the town. But they should consider them as well. You see, that's how they are surviving. So if the vendors have been removed from the town, from the market, I tell you, confusion everywhere. You see, people start even blaming maybe the government, whatever. But let's think about them. Some they don't have where to raise money. Some they don't raise, they survive from there. So please. As you are thinking about that, or as they have thought of that sort of removing the vendors, please think about it. There is suffering in this combo. People are suffering, people are suffering. If you can go there, you check, you'll be able to tell us no, people are suffering.
So before
and if they are removed, you are promoting now bad things to be happening in this town.
Okay, so before we let you go, we have been told that a number of markets, especially in communities, have been abandoned because everyone wants to be in town, and that's what is causing the issue of street vending. Do you feel they should fill up these market spaces that they have abandoned instead of selling in the streets? The question was, we have been told that despite vendors being on the streets, we have been told that some markets have been abandoned. So are you of the view that these markets should remain without being used and everybody should be on the streets? Okay, we seem to have lost that caller, but anyway, that has been the argument even from the Ministry of Local Government, saying, you know, there are a lot of spaces, even in communities.
Remember last time we visited Kanyama, where we found only 3 people in the market.
In the market.
Yeah.
Yes. And everyone was still selling outside in the street.
That one we can confirm, yes. There are markets which have been abandoned in our communities. And for many reasons, one of them being there are few people in the communities and most of people are found in town. It's the reason why even if when they come in town themselves, there are markets there, but again, all of them you find them in the streets because we believe in the streets, that's why a lot of people are passing. Now, we should understand to say, removing the street vendors from the street, it's not a good thing to start with because they earn a living from there. And that's why it is difficult for the government to make a decision. If you have heard what the directive which has been given to say, on Friday on the 20th will be general cleaning for everyone. Yeah, for all street vendors and also all few the participants who can take to that. NGOs and other clubs can come together, join in cleaning. The move is very simple. They have sensed to say, if we take it today, people will suffer, to be honest with you. And the second thing they have seen to say, if we took that harsh decision without finding a proper decision or where to take them, it will be difficult. Because those people are found in town today, if you take them in markets, it's not enough to start with. Okay, they agree, they go back in markets. Then those who remain, where are they going to be taken? I'll give an example of the booth which are removed in town. We are told the solution for them would be found. Until today, the booths are just parked there. No solution has been found. What guarantee do we have for the vendors today? I think what is needed is just more like a dialogue, coming together with different ideas and to say, want to remove you because of the city is dirty, but you also earn a living from there. What conditions should be attached so that the cleaning of the city should be maintained? So those are some of the things we expect to be discussed on Friday as we meet with our local leaders while we are cleaning. Because I think that particular day, it will be a day which will be okay for us to interact with our leaders and to give us a clear picture of what exactly is happening. The plans they have for us if the vendors are removed, and the plans which they have for the city if the vendors are not removed. How are they going to apply to see to it that the town still remains clean? Because cleanliness, we should also not forget to say, it is a #1 priority.
Quite interesting. Anyway, do you have another?
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
We are good. Kindly tell us your name, so where you are calling us from, and your contribution.
So there's a feedback in the background. I hope you are able to
We
hear.
can clearly get you. Please go ahead with your contribution, sir.
Thank you very much. This is Reverend Mamputi.
Oh, it's good to know that you're watching Reverend. Kindly go ahead.
Thank you very much. First of all, I need to underscore something very is the fact that you see this issue has been politicized. Underline that fact. It has been politicized. And this is why, successful organization has been, the difficulty, with, bringing sanity and order as far as, the issue of Christianity is concerned. First of all, that you agree that most of the markets have been abandoned. That's a fact. The question is, why that it's been abandoned? So as an administration or as a government is present, it is important that the policy is done, because every market has got an administration or commonly known as chairman, market chairman or market chairwoman, whatever the case may be. So people occupy what show and what state. Okay? So they are able to give the information whether these people are deceived or these people have moved away from the market and no longer operating from there and so on. So that then those who are still, active and owning those places or shops and yet their system moved out wealthy owners of those places are back into their stands and into their shops, then the rest of the people that are found not to have any spaces in any market, the administration, the local government administration should be able now to, house whatever, whether it's a meeting or an engagement with these people to see how best they can relocate them. You see, the nuisance about having these people in the streets, well, of course, it's an economical issue, and of course, these people have their livelihood in what they are doing. And so just removing them and, abandoning them, that might obviously affect them, in one way or the other. But then there is an issue of sanity and orderliness in the city, of which if this thing is not handled now, it continues to be eventually it will explode, because criminality also is being, is being treated in the process of having street vendors, because you can even see that even with the issues of bus drivers now, there's a lot of, disorderliness in Kulima Tower there, and in certain, so we need to nip this in the bud as soon as possible. And for me, it starts with the auditing that I've advised. So let there be an audit throughout all the market and find out who owns these places. If there are places where stands and shops whose owners are deceased and these can be relocated to other people, let that be done. Then the experts that are found not to eat in any market, these are the people that should be managed by the administration, the government, the local administration, to see how best they can be relocated into other places. And then put strict rules that will ensure that no one comes out of the market and begins to trade on the street, whether, within the or within the CCE. And that can be achieved. But if we adapt politics to this thing, then we'll have this thing, reoccurring over and over again. Look at the issue of keeping, Lusaka 393. The reason why it has not been successful is the issue of politicization. How many times have we seen, the renewal of, keep Lusaka 393, and yet, it will be done for a few weeks, for a few months, and it's carried down, just like that. So we are politicizing.
Thank you so much, Rev.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Maybe you can just acknowledge his caller. He has called for an audit to see how many people own shop, and if these people are dead, maybe those shops can be relocated to other people. Can that work?
That can work. Like he has put it to say, in these markets we have people whom we call chairmen and chair ladies who exactly know what is happening, who are in charge of the markets. They even know to say, oh, ite bonyamake mutare, but to find that maybe some days they're not reporting. Maybe they have relocated from the main where they are selling from to the streets. Maybe if one of the reasons being street busy compared to where they are. So now we should understand to say, if those places are still empty and there are people who are willing to trade from there, I think audit can be done. It's a good idea, a very good idea at market level, and see how many people have got places in their markets. I think this can be done through our local leaders who can help us, like councillors, with the help of the chairmen and the chair ladies from the markets. Also, I'll have to acknowledge the fact to say, he has mentioned to say, the whole process of cleanliness has been politicized. Let's not politicize everything, even something which is good, or because maybe it was introduced by these people, you can't cut over. I'll give you an example. After the new Dawn came in government, we went on with cleaning of every Saturday. But some people came and said, no, if and definitely, believe me,
But cleaning.
Yeah. That one, until today, the process is dead. We did it for the past, I think for the first 4 weeks when the time they came in power. But it was very difficult to say, it's not easy. But the whole point is cleaning. Who is here? Who is benefiting? And if the diseases are here, who are going to get sick? Above all, in the streets where we sell food, you have to care about the people's lives. So I think we shouldn't politicize in every matter, depending on who brings it. No. If it's enough, good enough for the people to bring development, let's embrace it and carry it over. Yes, Adam, that would be my take.
But do you think that it is possible to end street vending permanently? Looking at other countries like Kenya, South Africa, they have the same issue of street vendors. Is it possible, or should we just leave them? Is it something that is possible?
And just to add on that, we have seen that everyone, despite having markets in different compounds, we have seen that everyone wants to trade or sell their goods in town.
Yeah, that one, why people want to sell in towns, because it's a central place. That's where a lot of people meet. And back home, you find just specific place you find. But when it comes to town, there are a lot of people with different ideas. So you find that business moves fast compared to home. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think maybe that's one of the reasons people prefer to come there. Then can this vending end? It cannot end at once. It is impossible, but bit by bit it can end. Remember, the population is growing day by day. So the more people, the population grows, the more people we have in the streets. And if we don't start today the idea of ending street vending, in the next 5 years we are going to have more than we are having today. So what I could advise is the exercise of stopping the people trading from the street. It should be a non-exercise that we have to get used to it gradually as time goes by, to a point where maybe you would see us ourselves as individuals have a mindset of to say, even if I buy bananas here, I can't throw the litter here. That's an individual level. Sometimes we also blame these street vendors to say they're making the town dirty, but you find that what is dirty, Nivikamba banana. The vendor was not selling Vikamba banana, was selling the banana, but who ate those bananas? Someone who went and came to throw them there. So again, it's another point, I think, where the council has to make policies, or maybe to put enough bins in town. At least per 100 meters there's a bin, and also at a certain period of time, after 5 hours, maybe some measures should be put in those areas. It can by all means try to see to it that the streets can be maintained, if those can be applied. But the whole idea is to change our mindset.
Mm. Now, I also noticed something last year when the Honorable Minister of Local Government, Ken Kombo, went around chasing street vendors. People stopped sitting on the streets, but they began carrying their goods right on the middle of the road, talk of Lumumba, there between. I think that also increases or endangers lives. So, I don't have a take on that.
Street vending is not only good when it's not bad when we say.
Maybe just hold your thought.
We have
get this caller.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, madam?
We are fine, thank you, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I think people are in now.
Good Malanda.
I'm quiet. If you I see that you are very congratulated, you are that more much to the so now, she will make up now by the change your coffee here. You put out
Mm-hmm.
And it should be supported in my road. You should now avoid the change your coffee and I'm just saying it, just to remove it.
That couldn't change so far.
Okay, quite an interesting question there. Thank you very much for the question. And I think right now the status quo is that the ministry has halted the removal.
They have halted the removal following the presidential directive until they engage various stakeholders and see how best they can address this situation.
Yeah, there's not enough permanent place where they've found for the people who are going to be removed to say. I'm sure that's the reason why they have said, hold on, as they are still consulting other stakeholders on the way forward. The place is not enough for everyone.
But then looking at other countries, for example, China, they've got these huge modern markets. But look at our markets in Zambia, they're more like, I don't know what I can say. Maybe do you think that is the way we should go, building, markets which have got these stories, First story, second story, just these huge places. Maybe that could accommodate everybody.
Yeah, technology is there and is increasing every day. And we are not going to remain in this state. Come in the next 10 years, things will change. And you have to change, you have to shift our minds now. Modern markets are needed. It's a long-term plan which I think the government should start considering to say, looking at the population, I think modern markets are needed because numbers are increasing, and if we maintain the same markets, we are going just to increase the numbers of street vending. But if we increase the number of markets, then depending on how the shelters are built, how the capacity it is, it will reduce the street vending.
Now we can talk about, beans and all that, but there's also another argument which increases, diseases. They're saying, where do these street vendors go to the toilet? That's one question. Maybe your thought on that,
If you have been markets, in most cases, in vending where they trade from, there are no toilets.
And imagine they're selling fritters.
They are selling fritters. But in most cases, these people use the public toilets, which is again,
they manage paying
that's where there is a big of a challenge, because it's another expense. So in most cases, that's why we find now early in the morning bottles of cokes are filled with urine just in town all over, and we'd wonder to say, are these all bottles from street kids? Somehow something fish here. So
I've also been told the same about the mobile money booth, like post find, all kinds of things inside there. And this is the rain season. And now imagine if someone does not just want to pass water, but wants to answer
the call of my name. The call of my name, yes. Yeah.
So now imagine if someone wants to do number 2. Now where do they go? In the street? So that's something. But yeah, so for example, we can say we can make sure they'll sweep, but how do we handle the issue of the toilet?
Is it now a thing that we should see council building up more public toilets, endorsing the street vendings again?
Yeah, again, it will look as if they're endorsing.
Yes.
But all in all, again, those things are necessities are needed. They should be built as long as people are there. They should be there. These days things are modern, quite mobile, and it's also opened up another idea to say it is an entrepreneurship part. If someone would think to say, okay, there is a location where I have a toilet, so if I took a mobile toilet, if you think the way of making money as an entrepreneurship, it can help out to say, okay, fine. This road, you'll be trading from here. Since we can't remove you, the condition attached to this will be cleaning. But one condition is we don't have toilets. Okay, the youth come together, form a cooperative. We have got this, come up with a company of mobile toilets. You help these people. It's a source of income. It's all about thinking on how it's rich you are going to apply these things in them to be fulfilled.
But are they willing to pay? Are they willing to pay those 2 kwachas? These days it's 3 kwacha. I can wonder what's changed. 3 kwacha.
Yeah, things are changing every day. So if
imagine they pay the council, maybe is it 5 kwacha, and if they go 16 times to pass water, they are going to part away with almost 50 kwacha. Are they going to do that?
Oh, they have to adopt. So me, what I can say to my parties they
should put CCTV to see who's
yeah, they should put at least mobile toilets for if they agree to say remain in these areas and there are no toilets. I think they should promote mobile toilets for those areas where they put them. There are no toilets. Yeah, because if they allow them to be there and there's no toilets, expect bottles in the morning.
Quite interesting there. Now, when we talk about entrepreneurship and this year, the new Dawn administration has promised the people of Zambia that they're going to do the less of talking and more action. What is it that you would want to see when it comes to entrepreneurship?
I should agree to say entrepreneurship creates employment, and the people who should come on board to bring these ideas in most cases are youths. Youths are backbones of every nation. Therefore, it is important that the government sees to it that the youth are put first in everything that they're trying to achieve. I'm sure it is the reason why today they have tried so much to touch a youth from the youngest age. I'll give an example. They have given us free education. Second, they have given us bursaries through CDF. That one has touched anyone below the age of 18 who wants to benefit in those areas. That is the empowerment the government has given the youth direct. Secondly, the government also, through the CDF, they have given us loans and grants to enable a youth to start up anything that they feel they can start doing for a living. Not because my friend did it, no, but because you think it is sustainable to yourself and to the community and to the people around you. Thirdly, to see to it that the youths are direct involved in the 2023 budget, where CDF is concerned, they have increased to it so that maybe it can cater many people than we did last time. It all starts with our mindset and how we see things as an individual. Where do you want to take yourself, and where do you want to take your community? How best can you put the community at a better place than it is today? Identify opportunities within your community, because that is a source of income.
Just hold your thought there. We have a caller. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. You are through to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Who are we talking to this morning? Bwazanko ni volume ku TV anu nivela feedback. Please go ahead with your contribution. Okay, so mkamba po bwanji pali issue yochosa ma street vendors mu town. Mkamba po bwanji pali issue yochosa ma street vendors mu town.
Okay.
Okay, Scom. I think this is a genuine concern, Zippo, you know, despite not you being a street vendor, but, you know, the question will be, how many public toilets do we have in the CBD?
I think if you also heard, he said they should make them free. He said they
yes, free.
But ma'am, think of a free public toilet.
Exactly. You know, you need to clean it, you know.
It would be filthy. People die. No one is responsible.
But maybe put maybe a charge of maybe 1 kwacha instead of 3 kwacha.
Toilet cleaning detergent has gone up.
Oh, yeah.
So even you stop drinking too much water. Anyway,
the issue of toilets, I would refer to the act which the CDF came up with. Is it on 27th of December? Yeah, there was an act from the bill of CDF which says the minister in charge can give a directive on what should be done using CDF money. That's Act number 8 of the 2018. They stated to say certain amount from the CDF would go towards improving the public toilets and the running of water in public markets. The reason why they did that is deliberate. The amount which has gone to CDF is much. And if we look at the old Don government now, it looks as if the whole thing is attached to CDF. And every development that we are going to see, what we would want to have direct, it to come through CDF. It is the reason why they have direct to say, you people from the CDF money that you have given you, every year a certain amount should be removed to maintain public toilets. A certain amount should be removed to maintain the running of water in public markets. A certain amount of 1 million should go towards police vehicles per constituency. A certain amount of 1 million should build chiefdoms, the palaces, depending with where you are. So that CDF will do it according to where you are. So now, in this area, we're talking of markets. The CDF money, which is allocated in making sure that we have got enough toilets, we have got water running in those toilets, we have got power in public places, should go towards that immediately without any hesitation, because the number of people who are using those public toilets are increasing every day. And like you heard, the caller said, it should be free. Of course, it can be free, but at least it should be with a fair price, so that the maintaining of the toilets can go on. Now, if it's free, we are going to be buying the tissue, we are going to be buying the soap needed for you to wash your hands.
Even the husks for maize in there.
Yeah, you see, if you make it free, you find the vimpukoshu. Yeah.
And then the property will be vandalized.
Yeah, exactly.
The right will be blocked, and you end up closing down and losing out on a lot of money for building those. And then moving. Oh, we do.
Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You're through to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Who are we talking to this morning?
Yes, I'm talking to Clarity from Chingola.
It's good to know that Chingola is watching us this morning.
Okay.
Please go ahead with your contribution, sir.
Okay, I just want to contribute about the street vendors.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not good to remove those people because there are a lot of people there. So at least the government must provide for them enough food, a place so that they can occupy them. So to make that decision is not good unless you find out them, because it's very difficult.
Thank you so much for your contribution, sir.
Okay, thank you. Welcome.
This brings me back to my other question. You know, because the UPND administration is not the first government to have made this pronouncement that they want to remove street vendors. We have seen previous administration doing that. Do you think government has been quick enough, you know, to announce of the removal of street vendors without finding a permanent alternative for them?
Exactly. We always rush to say the street vendors should move out from the streets without finding a place where to go. Today, because they have said street vendors should be removed from the town, they will not say because we opened City Market. No. City Market was there before, and we saw people in the streets before it was down. And if it opened, people to be full again, and you see people still remain in town. That will mean to say you don't have enough place people where to trade from. The second point, it will mean to say people don't have jobs, because you can't just be home because you don't have work. They'll try to say, maybe in a soccer business in town, I run up and down, I'd find it to be a source of income. The reason why today we are seeing these street vendors, and why government have come in and they have gone, they have pronounced to say street vendors should vacate from the towns, and nothing has been happening, is because they have got no enough place for them. And there is this high number of unemployment level in Zambia, to a point that even if you removed those people who are there today, you find them where to be. Come tomorrow again, some people come to in town again. Where are you from? We are from home, we don't have anything to do. Why didn't you come then? So we thought we had to come again. They'll give you those excuses because they don't have what to do. So what is important is, I think, there should be a police attached to it to maintain to see that the town is clean. Not the police to say they should go out, because I think we don't have enough place for them to go. For now, we should just let them be there. If you ask me, should them be there, but just put tough conditions so that you see that every time they are there, the town remains clean.
And talking of unemployment, earlier my colleague touched on the issue of cooperatives. I think we even did a story, Miriam, 2 weeks ago, where we actually do have that story, where we saw some women saying this year they're not going to apply for CDF because last year they applied and nothing happened. But anyway, before we play that story, what is your advice to youths who may have the same mindset, saying last year they applied, so this year they're not going to apply because they did not go through?
We should understand to say the...
Maybe before you respond to that question, let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Who are we talking to this morning?
Mrs. Zulu from Chingola.
It's good to know that Mrs. Zulu, you're watching us. Anyway, we have a lot of calls from Chingola this morning. Eh? Yeah. Please go ahead with your contribution, ma'am.
Yes, I think the politics of appeasement is long gone. I think our president is trying to appease those people. Gary Congo was right to remove the vendors from the CBD. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So anyway, that's her thought there, but I think we've already discussed what I'm saying. Well, you get your opinion saying we need to find alternatives. Anyway, so we do acknowledge your call, and then maybe you can just respond to the issue of cooperatives before we play that story, as we seem to be running out of time.
We should understand to say little sensitization of the CDF was done last year, especially to say that CDF now it came into, it's about 5 packages. We have got skills, bursaries, we have got loans, we have got grants and community projects. So now all these, the 5 things, anyone can apply from this and be given whatever you want. So that people had got little knowledge about it. Many people didn't acquire what was needed for them to be given. And also some people applied all because of maybe Chipani and they expected to be given. But remember, this is a government plan where if you apply, you have to be thoroughly checked and to see if you qualify, truly qualify, without any favor or what. The biggest challenge we faced last year, it was information. We had little knowledge on how to do about it. And many cooperatives never received on time because even the CDF itself never came on time. So we found that many things stopped. It is a reason why they gave a directive to say that money which was released, it shouldn't go back to the treasury. It should stay where it is and it work for its intended purposes. So meaning if you applied, you are not called. Remember, the funds for the first year are still there. Probably you'll be called using those funds. So let's not lose hope. And it is the reason why they saw to say people have got little knowledge about this, using their acts through the directive of the minister in their constitution. They gave to say every once in a week there should be a program on radio talking about CDF, sensitizing to people. Why? They have seen it to see people have got less knowledge about it. If they do that, people are going to be aware because they have seen to say many people are still behind. These 5 components of CDF, you can't tell me you can miss all of them and you to say you can't benefit. Probably we didn't have enough knowledge. So those who want to give up, it's not the time to give up because we're expecting, and for some wards and constituencies, they've got double funds for this year which will come out and for last year, which will be enough to do the projects and to pick out some cooperatives.
And let us take a look at that story, and when we come back, we'll conclude on today's discussion. Let's take a look at the story on women and cooperatives. While one would expect more citizens to be eager to form cooperatives and apply for funding under Constituency Development Fund CDF in 2023, some businesswomen in Lusaka say they have given up hope on the initiative as they did not benefit in 2022. Following the increase of CDF from 1.6 million to 25.7 million kwacha in 2022, citizens were encouraged to form cooperatives and write business proposals, which would see the best candidates receiving different packages of funding. This, however, did not go well with many business people in the informal sector who say the requirement of writing business proposals was disadvantaging many of them, as few of them were literate. They said funds were highly competitive, meaning that not even all those that managed to present business proposals were successful. The scenario that prevailed in 2022 has discouraged some businesswomen in Lusaka who say they're not inspired to apply in 2023.
Then tinabwata nembesako futi ya cooperative certificate inachoka but tutindama tipase manje kulibe kwa metinga yenu tuyatitandize tilibe so business yatu inagwa tilibe napogwira tema bwaya so chabe tingoyangana makatundu tilibe ndrama kutatipasa kuza cooperative sizioneka tayesa tingoenda daily time na time tungoenda kwambia December tungo sensema endani uko but ndrama kulibe.
Others, however, say they will continue trying, urging other citizens to do the same.
Kutenga kwa kaena ma 5 pin. Bezotenga aba vachokako babiri futi mwamvera bena ngati vachokako batatu but monga pano lo one banatenga pa Fred Joe tiyembekeza pana setikatenga tinazimvera wanazichosa manje yo business tizaiona bwanje bwino pakuti tilibe ndalama tilibe ndalama zavuta ndalama zingenesa ma business yabwera down koma wakati pasa imene ayo mandalama mana tipromisa ma 5p tizachichita.
The business women have however called for more education surrounding the fund, stating that many are still ignorant on how it works. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka. Quite interesting there. They're actually declaring war against the DFA. It's like a star fly, as if, you know, they're trying to punish someone.
Exactly, but it's for their own benefits.
You know, your take on that story and your concluding remarks.
CDF is there for all of us. And we should understand to say CDF is meant for the people direct on the ground. No one should give up today because their cooperative wasn't picked last time. No. CDF is not a thing where you expect there and then to come out. It's a competition. There are people who are better than you. Maybe all of you have applied the same. And the other people, they qualify more than you. What do you expect? Do something that you think you are the best, and where you are going to compete with others and you are left out, don't give up. Me, if we are going to give up today in everything that we try, I don't think those who have succeeded, they could have succeeded by now. So at our constituency level, I would ask our MPs, our councillors, even us people who have got little knowledge about this CDF and how to go about it, we help one another so that the people who are willing to apply, their papers can be picked, their proposals can be picked. Also, the other thing is, maybe if you don't know what you want to do, but you have got an idea, you have got this mentality of you want everything free. Go to an expert, they do it for you. You pay them because you don't know. Maybe you did it because you wanted to do it on yourself, and maybe you missed one or two things. Involve experts in your movement. As you are coming up with the cooperatives, don't just think you're a circle because we play with that one, we play with that one, we come together. No. Think of the people who are going to help you achieve what you want. Get involved, close to people, those with ideas. Get people who know how to write proposals. Get people, those who know how to write plans. Get people those business ideas, and those who have been in the business before. Collectively, you work together. That's when you can achieve something. I think it's a matter of just working together. Lastly, I would wish to encourage everyone out there to utilize the CDF, especially those who want to go back to school, knowing that it's now it's free education. Those people who are doing skills. The money is there in our CDF. They have been allocated to say before 2023 December, we shouldn't have shortages in schools per constituency. Meaning the people with a skill come together and create desks, make desks for the schools, at least apply so that to be delivering desks to the schools. Those people with the skills of bricklaying, apply to see to it that the schools that have got enough classroom blocks so that those people who are going to school, they should have where to sit. It is an opportunity which has been created, which we don't want to use. So I think we should, if we continue always blaming the government, even on things that we have directed, given us, or because we are blind and we choose not to open our eyes to see beyond politics, we will not achieve anything.
Sure. Quite interesting there. Anyway, this is where we come to the end of today's breakfast show. We're joined by Mr. Nichan Takakuya, Executive Director of the Industrial Youth Organization, and we're discussing the removal of street vendors from the streets as well as the utilization of the cooperative funding under Constituency Development Fund. Thank you very much for those who joined us to participate in today's topic, and I'm sure the stakeholders out there have heard and are going to put your suggestions into action. So Miriam?
Thank you so much once again to our viewers and those who are watching us live on our Facebook page. But please do make a date with us tomorrow morning as we bring you nothing but the best with what we have for you in our breakfast show. For me, Miriam Kaimba, and my colleague Zipporah Mshala, it's bye-bye and God bless you.